Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are having an awesome day today. So today's video is going to be about how to find that genuine group of friends that you've always wanted your whole life, or just how to find friends that just, whatever a good friend means to you, how to find that. Because for everyone, what they look for in a friend is different. Some people want honesty, some people want loyalty, some people want just fun adventures. So I'm going to share with you, not my life story, but just how I've just gone through friendships in my life and how they have evolved, my relationships with other people, how that has evolved as I've evolved personally, and how, back when I never respected myself growing up. Like in middle school, high school, I was a huge people pleaser. Always, do you need money? Do you need a car ride? What do you need? Food? I'll listen to you cry for 6 hours and I'll never, ask for a favor in return. To then now how I'm doing what I love and I respect myself so much more, and how that has changed and how it's not hard. People think, oh, it is harder to find friends in your 20s, like when you're out of college and you're kind of just in the work world, and it's different. It's not like high school where you have 7 classes with these people and you're kind of with them all day. In the adult world, it's like it's harder to find people, and I don't know, it's just different. So, my life story. So in middle school, I would say I kind of was just known as like the funny, goofy, can't take her seriously person, and I feel like I took on that persona just as a way to deflect the anxiety I was having, and just so everyone would like me. I think I was really afraid if people didn't like me, that would just ruin my day, and I would get so upset about it, and I would want to prove to them, like, or just, be like, why don't you like me? You should like me. And I was so obsessed with, like, being liked, and I don't really know I don't think it was being popular, but I was just so obsessed with being liked and being invited to places. And I really took on this role of the funny, you can ask her to, you can make her do anything to make anyone laugh. Can't take her seriously. She's always joking, class clown. And I took on that role, but like in my mind, it was just a way for me to deflect off my anxiety so people wouldn't notice if I was having a panic attack. But then, I started doing it so much that people didn't see me as anything else. And they were just like, oh, no, the funny, goofy, like, can't take her seriously, can't have a deep relationship with her. And so that that frustrated me a lot. But at that age, I didn't understand it. And I just thought that this is how all friendships are. It's just like funny, goofy, lighthearted, not like, friendships are that. And it is important to have fun in relationships and just keep it not dramatic and not toxic, but it's also relationships and friendships are about, getting emotional and being vulnerable. And when you need someone, they should be there for you. It's just like, a healthy two-way street. Like you're there for them, they're there for you unconditionally. So then once high school started, I still took on that role of just being the goofy, funny, like the can't take her seriously thing. And I just did that up until I would say June. No, maybe like basically all of high school. It wasn't until like the end of senior year that I was just like, you know what, this really isn't helping me get closer to people, because people are just viewing me as like this one-dimensional person, like, oh, nope, this is her, that she doesn't have any other side to her, she's just this goofy whatever person. And I was so nice too in middle school a little bit, but in high school it really escalated. I was such a people pleaser. I would go out of my way just to help people, and it really genuinely was, because I do love helping people. Like, from the bottom of my heart, it's in my DNA, it's the way I was raised, like you help others, and you be kind to people, and you treat everyone the same, and you ask people how their day is, and you don't treat people different. If you're talking to like a CEO or a janitor, you treat everyone the same. And that's still how I am. It's in my core beliefs. But I just was doing it too much, and it was unhealthy, and none of my friendships were benefiting me. And it was just so giving, and just I was getting nothing in return. But that is because, I wasn't speaking up, and I wasn't saying, hey, like, can you be there for me? I would never do that. So me not speaking up was showing people, oh, she doesn't care if we screw her over. She doesn't care if she gives us money, gives us a ride to this place, gives us food, whatever. She doesn't care if we don't give her anything back because she doesn't say anything. So, my silence and me not speaking up just allowed people to be like, she's cool with us just screwing her over basically and using her and just being around her when we need something from her. So it was a mixture of hanging around the wrong people, but it also was me, and I'm taking blame for some of it because I never spoke up and I never respected myself, so I didn't know how others should treat me and respect me. And it's just the relationship that you have with yourself plays into everything else in your life. And some people are like, no, that's not true, but it really is. And it will show, you will realize like, okay, wow. So like when I don't respect myself and I, don't take time for self-care and I don't love myself and I think negatively, speak negatively, see who, you're going to be hanging around. It's going to be around people like that. And so when you do respect yourself and love yourself and take time for self-care, your friend group is going to change, and it's really cool. So after high school, I came to LA for Santa Monica City College because, that was the plan. Because I got horrible grades in high school. I got like D's and F's, and part of it was because I really did not care. High school in general was just not my thing, and I think I knew it all along. I hated school so much. I never applied myself. I thought academics were stupid, and I'm not saying this, trying to influence someone to be like, yeah, like, fuck school. But, like, that's just how I felt. I never liked it. I never applied myself. I thought school was just not for me. I think I knew that all along. Deep down, I was like, why am I going to apply myself in math and English and biology when I'm not interested? I don't, like, this is just pointless. So I got D's and F's all of high school. I had to do, like, summer school every summer. But then, so, community college was, like, my time to, get those grades and transfer to a four-year university. And so in community college, like, when I first moved to LA, I lived in this apartment with, like, 6 other girls. And it was so much fun at first. I mean, we were like 18, straight out of high school, and just kind of, partied all the time and didn't care. And I mean, it was so much fun. It was like, living with 6 awesome girls who were so fun to go out with. It was like, sleepovers, movie nights, going to frat parties. It was so much fun. But, we just couldn't get anything done. And I was definitely hanging around the wrong crowd at the time, too. I was kind of hanging around the people who were just like the partiers in LA and all about like who and let's go to this club and all that stuff. And they didn't really care about like you genuinely and like, how's your day, Megan? And I still, like, I was aware of it, but I wasn't doing anything to change it. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, this is just how it's going to be. Like, these are cool friends, kind of just like, I couldn't see myself ever in this life, like, having, like, that was just all for me. I was like, well, I mean, this is just what my life is going to be. I have a great family. That's all I really need. And so I kind of had that mindset where I wasn't really complaining, but I was kind of just like, oh, like, this is it. I don't know what else to do. Okay. And then I'm going to make a video just about my whole health scare, like, life awakening thing. But basically, a year and a half into community college, I started getting these gut feelings of just like, school is not meant for you, and this is not going to help you get to where you want to go. And I just ignored them, came up with excuses. I was like, no, I need the perfect supportive friend group. Then I'll drop out. And also, I had never really experienced like intuition and gut feelings. Like, obviously, everyone has, if you're in a bad situation, you feel that like, no, you shouldn't do this. I did had that before, but I had never had it to this level of just like full body overwhelming of like, this is not your path. Like, it was literally like the universe was like tapping on my shoulder, like, Megan, drop out of school, start a YouTube channel, start a blog, just start getting creative. And I had these gut feelings, and I still have in my journal from like 2014, 2015 of when I felt these feelings. And in my journal, it's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do, but I have these gut feelings. And I ignored them. I came up with excuses. I just was like, no, that's not practical. That's not realistic. My parents won't support it. I like, how can I trust this feeling? But I have no logical written explanations, evidence. Like, that's so stupid. And then in January of 2016, I just got super sick out of nowhere. I remember exactly this Saturday. I think it was January 16th. I got so sick at the time, and it was like that day I remember waking up in the worst pain ever, and at the time I had moved out of the apartment with the 6 girls, and I was just living in this kind of just like shithole apartment with one other roommate who hated me. We never got along, and it was like literally in this like basement. Like, it was so creepy. It was just dark, had bad energy, didn't like it. And at the time I had like 2 friends in LA who were like friends, like not really friends. It was just like, when's the next party? And I was just in a horrible place. And then I'm like, oh great, so now I have to get sick on top of this. Wow, I deserve this. Just kind of that mindset of like, why is this happening to me? And so I got super sick for 4.5 months. No doctor knew what was wrong with me. I had MRIs, CAT scans, blood drawn, urine testing. I tried 17 different antibiotics, like ultrasounds, CAT scan, everything that you can think of. I had to drive myself to the ER at 3 a.m. when I would wake up crying because of the pain, and I was like in fetal position and I could not move. And I had no friends. I had friends, but not real friends that I could call crying, being like, please take me to the ER. And so that was a really hard time in my life, and I was just like, why me? Why do I deserve this now? And at that time also, so I was super sick, and I was just bedridden most days. I was gaining weight. I was breaking out in hives, literally like welts, like the size of that, all over my body because of the antibiotics. Like, antibiotics, they do kill the bad bacteria, but they also kill like the good bacteria in your body. So trying 17 different antibiotics all in a row, nonstop, like my body was just freaking out, and it was just like, stop, like you're not killing it, but it's just like, we can't handle this. So I had like welts, hives all over my body. I was bedridden, gaining weight, in the worst pain ever. No doctors believed me. They could not find anything wrong. They're like, you are as healthy as can be. Your blood work is fine. There's your imaging, like your x-rays and stuff, there's nothing coming up. So I felt like I was kind of going crazy. And when I think about that time, all I think is just Twilight Zone. Like, I was like, this has to be a dream, like a nightmare. Like, who has gone through that? Like, I don't know what to do. And also, my 2 friends that I had that were just like not real at all stopped talking to me because I was so sick and I couldn't hang out, and they never asked how I was or if I needed anything. So that was hard, and I was failing community college because I couldn't go to class. So most days I would literally drag my body to class, and I had just horrible back, like pelvic pain, like lower back pelvic pain. So I would literally drag myself in my car and try to go to school. But I would get there and I would just be bawling, like white knuckles gripping the steering wheel from the pain I was in. And I remember in that 4 months, when it ended finally, I remember thinking and looking back, and I was like, that is the first time in my life where I did not smile or laugh for 4.5 months. And anyone who knows me, I'm like super high energy, like positivity, like woo, like I love smiling and laughing and stuff. So that time in my life was very hard. So that time in my life, it was just, like the biggest shit show ever. I had no friends. I was gaining weight. I was sick. No one could find anything wrong with me. I was failing community college where I was supposed to be getting the good grades to transfer, because that was what the plan was. And I remember just thinking, like, this has to be happening for a bigger reason. Like, who has this much things go wrong? And nothing is going my way. And I had that mindset of like, why me? And I just felt like I was missing out on life. It's not easy to be 20 years old and experience that long of a health scare. And I know some people may watch this and they're going to be like, oh, well, 4 months isn't that long. Like, you shouldn't be complaining, like, you're fine. But for me, that was just very scary. And that is something I have never experienced, being that sick for that long and no doctor could find anything wrong. And I went to like urinologists and ER doctors and every like specialist you could think of, and no one can find anything wrong. Like, it's scary. Um, and so I remember towards the end of like month 3, I just remember thinking like, this has just got to be something bigger. Like, I don't know what it is, but like something just universal or spiritual. Like, this just has to be happening for a reason. And so, long story short, so my mom, by the grace of God, somehow got a phone session with the medical medium Anthony Williams. And for those of you who don't know him, he's basically a medical medium, and he can scan people's bodies and see if they have certain ailments or illnesses, or if they shouldn't be eating a certain type of food or anything like that. And he is incredible, and I highly recommend his books and his website to anyone. He literally saved my life. I was at such a dark place emotionally, mentally, and I was very depressed, and I really wanted to kill myself, if I'm going to be totally honest. I was like, okay, well, this is how my life is going to go. I'm going to be in chronic pain for the rest of my life, bedridden, and I haven't done anything I wanted to do in my life. I remember towards the end, when I thought I wasn't going to get any better, I remember writing a list of things I had always wished I'd tried when I was healthier, like try acting classes, try improv classes, go volunteering, go find that genuine group of friends that you've always wanted and you know that you deserve. And so I got the phone session with him a few days later. He immediately knew what was wrong with me. I had just like the strep virus in my colon. And sometimes, you know, you get viruses as a kid, like mono, shingles, or strep, and they stay in your body and they stay dormant. And then something just triggers it, you know, whether that's a food or just, I don't know. But even though medically there was something wrong with me, I really do believe that it happened at that time in my life for a reason. Like, the universe was just like, drop out of school, drop out of school. We're trying to push you on the right path where you're going to find your purpose and live your best life. You're not listening. You're not listening. Boom, like slap in the face, you know, health scare. And looking back now, I'm like, that is the best thing that ever happened to me. Because so after I started getting a little bit better, I was on, my whole life had changed. And you know, when you hear people talk about like how they were before an incident versus after, and how it's like they're literally two different people, like before the car crash, after the car crash, like that is like me before this health scare and after this health scare. I'm a completely different person, really. So after it, I just started trying the things on the list, like acting classes and improv classes and volunteering and just exploring LA and just not putting a limit on my potential and meeting people and going to meetups and just being like, F it, and just like trying things and not letting the self-doubt and the, oh, you can't do that, you're not pretty enough, who do you think you are, not letting that stop me. I literally was like, you know, balls to the wall, I'm gonna do everything. And on that 5-month journey of just trying things and just embracing life and just having a better mindset, I swear to you, along the way, and I didn't have expectations for this, but I slowly met my dream friends that I still have now, an amazing friend group. And I was just like, this is crazy. Like, so now that I'm, you know, at a higher vibrational level and I'm trying these things and I'm opening up spiritually and I'm just reaching my highest potential, I'm finding these people so naturally, by the way, and it was never forced or I had to go find them. It was always just like they were in front of me in a line, or I started, you know, like, oh my gosh, that's such a cute sweater. And then we start talking. It was the most like crazy, coincidental, like random meetings, but those are the best, I think. And yeah, so now, I mean, 2 years later, obviously I've made more friends and, you know, some friendships weren't meant forever, but though that period in my life was where I first was like, these are genuine people. And it's all because like I'm doing what I love. So that is, I know that was a long story. But that is just something that I wanted to share. And for those of you who just are struggling to find that genuine group of friends and you're just hopeless and you feel alone, or you just moved to a new city and you're like, I don't deserve friends, I don't know where to look. Just, you know, first of all, make sure that you're doing what you love. Because to me, when you're doing what you love, everything else will just fall into place naturally. You know, the right boyfriend, girlfriend, the right friends, just everything. And it's crazy how when you just take that, and I'm obviously very spiritual. So if you guys are watching and you're not really spiritual or you just don't believe in that, then you can call it something else or just, skip this part. But I just believe that when you take that first step towards your passions in life, the universe is going to be like, I'm going to take 20 steps towards you. And, it's like the universe will always meet you halfway or more than halfway. And it will always bless you and guide you and keep you on the right path with your intuition and those gut feelings. So that's number one. Make sure you're doing what you love, because then you're going to find naturally the right people, because you're going to be in that space of just passion and you're excited and you're living your dreams and you're following your path. That already is making you at a very high vibrational level. So you're going to attract naturally the right kind of people. So I have like a little list. And, don't settle. That's my second thing. And I only have 3 things. Don't settle, because, when I was like having these gut feelings of I'm meant for more, or I should just, do more, it was kind of like a seesaw. I was like, okay, I'm meant for more. I should do more. But wait, that's not my reality. I don't really deserve that. I don't know. And I would kind of go back and forth a lot. And I would have moments where I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to hang out with these 2 friends that I had because they're not genuine. They're toxic people. They just, they just want to party all the time, blah, blah, blah. But then when they would reach out, I'd be like, you know what? But it's better than being alone. So it's kind of like I was like drowning, and anything that was around me, I would just grab onto it, because I was in that desperate mindset of like, but this is better than being alone. So I'll hang out with this person who doesn't really care about me, but that's not good. So, my second one is just don't settle. Even if you only have 1 friend, 2 friends, 5 friends, I don't know. If they're not good for you, don't hang out with them, because when you settle for those friends, you're not allowing the friends that you deserve and the right friends to come into your life, because you're sending mixed signals to the universe, because you're thinking one way and you're thinking I deserve better and you're thinking I want better, but then you're hanging out with the people still. So your thoughts have to match your actions, and just don't settle. And everyone knows, when things are not right for them. So trust your gut. If you feel like friends that you have in your life right now are toxic, they're using you, they're just negative, they make you feel worse about yourself, they make you feel small or dumb or belittle you, or just have a toxic, needy, desperate energy, then don't hang out with them. And then so the third thing is something that I always do, and I encourage everyone to, is continuously take inventory of your friend group all the time. I do it almost every day. Check in with myself, and I'm like, you know what? I go through my list of friends. I'm like, am I helping them? Are they helping me? Do I feel my best, highest self around them? Do they feel their best, highest self around them? And I do this thing called before, during, after. So let's say a friend of yours texts you and they're like, hey, let's hang out. So how do you feel right then when they text you to hang out? That's the before. Do you feel like a pit in your stomach, like you're about to go do a chore and you're like, oh, crap? Or do you feel like excited, like, yes, I get to hang around this person today, like I can't wait? And then, so that's the before. So it's important to pay attention before you hang out, when they ask you to hang out, or you ask them, like, how do you feel? So then the during is, how do you feel when you're around them? How do they make you feel? Do they make you feel like important and special and unique and strong and in your highest best self, and they just get you? Or do they make you feel dumb, belittled, stupid, not worthy, ugly, like, anything? Just really be aware when you're around people how they make you feel. And this can be for relationships too. Just always pay attention to how people make you feel. Do they make you feel great? Do they make you feel stupid? Just be aware of that, and you'll, slowly get better at picking up on, like, you know what, this person's meant for me, this person's not meant for me. And then so the after. So how do you feel after you've been around them? Do you feel drained and just like, oh, I have no energy and I just feel drained and I'm in a weird funk? Or do you feel like invigorated and excited about life and like, yes, that person's amazing and we're on the same energetic level and we just get each other? So that's really important. So after, do you feel just drained and like you gave and did not receive anything? And just, like you feel worse than you did before, and you're like, okay, I don't really want to hang around that person again because they just drained me and they're like an energy sucker. or did you feel great, invigorated, happy, more excited? So that is my list for today. I hope that helps you guys find and attract a genuine friend group, because you do deserve it. And don't settle for mediocre, like just okay, getting through the day friends, because I've been there and I truly know how it feels to not only have no friends, because I get that too, and it was weird for me to go from, being this like class clown in high school who always had attention and friends, even though they weren't the right kind of friends, to being in college and community college where I had like one friend at a time and sometimes no friends. And I've spent many, weekends and Friday nights when you're supposed to be out alone. So I totally get that too. And I understand how painful and sad it can be. And just, it's hard. Everyone needs that support group to fall back on. And, you can give, but you need love and attention and to feel important and that you're supported and loved and people are holding the space for you. So never settle, and you do deserve that friend group. And they are out there. That's a comfort thing to just know. They're out there and they're not that hard to find. You just have to get to the level of where you want to be. You just have to do what you love and exude that warmth and positivity that you want to get back. And, just sit around and manifest. What do you want to be doing with your dream friend group? Like, what do you want? Do you want to travel with them? Like, you know what I mean? Do you want to go to concerts with them? What kind of stuff do you want to be doing? And how do you want them to make you feel? And, take action. Go try new things, and I guarantee you along the way you're going to meet them in like a crazy, cool, serendipitous, kind of coincidental way, because I think those are the funnest ways, when you're like, I had no expectations, and I just met a friend of a friend, a stranger, and she dropped something on the sidewalk, and I picked it up, and then we started a conversation, and just those random little universal winks of just the universe being like, I got you, and I will show you, and I have your back. So I hope you all have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.